Hi, welcome to Superhero Rundown. I'm Crimson, and today we're going to be talking about the Arrowverse. Again. I find that I talk about it a lot, but this time we're going to be going a different route than I usually do. We're going to be looking at the crossovers, specifically Crisis on Earth X, Elseworlds, and Crisis on Infinite Earths. Why? Because I said so. Also, because these are going to illustrate how even if you don't watch all the shows, or are behind on the shows as in my case, you can still follow the characters' relationships and see how far they have all come. I'm not going to break down what happens in each crossover point by point, but there are some things that are important to the storytelling, so I'll bring those up when necessary. For now, enjoy this montage of hilarious one-liners I enjoyed in these crossovers.
Just a quick reminder. Super speed. I don't have it.
Lex Luthor from another Earth. Apparently the multiverse is ending.
Oh, Barry. What have you done this time?
Batwoman, the multiverse is in great danger. You are needed.
I'll deal with whatever your crazy is in a minute.
There is no more time.
Didn't I try and kidnap you once?
Yes, and I wouldn't try that again.
You remind me of my brother, by the way. Tall, dark, annoyed by me.
You're gonna help us or not?
Oh, flirt.
Is that a kryptonite arrow? Why do you have a kryptonite arrow?
In case an evil you ever showed up.
There might be a way to slow him down. We literally slow down time. Come on, that's gotta be like only the fourth most crazy thing you've heard in the past 3 hours.
How do we...
Never thought I'd say this, but I'm tired of killing Superman.
Why do we even need it? I mean, how often does the world almost come to an end? Oh, it's like that.
And that's my point. Some of these you can tell exactly what's going on. Heatwave remembering past kidnaps, Oliver blaming Barry because of course he did it, Lex just happy to kill Superman until he gets tired of it, Lucifer's also just happy to be here for some reason, and then he's not because Constantine is a dick. The relationships in the shows between the characters are what makes the crossovers work more than anything. Yeah, the stories are fun too, but you know you're there for the witty banter and the subtle and not so subtle Easter eggs.
My name is Barry Allen. Hello, John.
Do I know you?
You're not wearing your ring.
He's Green Lantern?
You married Barry Allen?
But it goes deeper than that. Besides saving the multiverse, punching Nazis, and dealing with Dr. Destiny, the main core of heroes have become friends. Oliver, Barry, Kara, Sarah, Kate, and Clark. They all have a camaraderie, and it's so refreshing to see a DC universe that's in more than one color. It's brown. The color is brown. And yes, I saw the Snyder Cut. It's still pretty dark compared to the lightheartedness of the Arrowverse. Arrowverse is better. Die mad about it, nerds. Some of the catalysts for the crossovers are awesome, or lead into the other crossovers. All the heroes gather for Barry and Iris's wedding before being attacked by Earth X Nazis. Elseworlds shows us the Monitor who warns them of the impending Crisis on Infinite Earths. And it works. Every time. In Crisis on Earth X is still the Arrowverse's best crossover. Ian Cardona shows us an example on why these work. Crisis on Earth X arrived at a time when Arrow was in its 6th season, while The Flash was on its 4th, and Supergirl and DC's Legends of Tomorrow were both on their 3rd. By that time, all series had found their footing and were delivering fun and exciting stories. What made 2017's crossover such an event in every sense of the word is that it started out with a literal event, the wedding of Barry Allen and Iris West. Characters from all series were invited to attend, which made this not only an organic way to get a crossover started, but also something that could easily happen in the comic books. That's hard to do, especially when you're adding new characters like Batwoman and Black Lightning, or you're killing characters like Dr. Martin Stein, who's one half of Firestorm. These will have lasting effects on the universe, because as Donner Lederer explains in the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths, will have long-lasting effects just like every other DC crisis. The Flash, Green Arrow, and Supergirl are the Arrowverse's version of the DC Trinity. They are the glue keeping everyone together. Fans who read the comic book series know these specific heroes meet tragic ends during the crisis. Barry Allen gives his life to stop the antimatter cannon, the Anti-Monitor kills Supergirl, and the Green Arrow of Earth 2, but still the Green Arrow, dies at the hands of a shadow demon. Yeah, I think the Arrowverse did us a solid by not starting us out with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. The Flash is also a founding member of the Justice League. He's not just some random character. Green Arrow is this universe's Batman. I said what I said. Have a nice day. Supergirl, from the get-go, is the main character of her universe. Supergirl is about Supergirl. I mean, Superman appears from time to time in her series, but for the most part, he lets her have her own life and knows she's more powerful and wiser on certain subjects than he is. And yes, he got his own show in Superman and Lois, but it is still separate from Supergirl. I like how each crossover brings something to the table as well. Not just character-wise, but theme-wise. In Crisis on Earth X, we get cultural context that we can readily translate to our own world. In Supergirl vs. Overgirl by Doyle Green, we learn what commentary Overgirl provides for our world. As one character put it in the first Crisis on Earth X episode, Overgirl and her ilk are intent to make America Aryan again, an overt commentary on post-Trump America. In the second episode, Overgirl confronts Supergirl over the superiority of the Earth X political order as a meritocracy based on domination and supremacy while assailing Supergirl. You squandered the potential, the most powerful being on the planet rendered weak by saccharine Americana. Overgirl is presented as the antithesis of Supergirl, but she also points to the ongoing struggle for Supergirl since the show's premiere in 2015 in addressing the saccharine Americana that has become part and parcel of the Superman franchise. Supergirl represents truth, justice, and the American way, just like her cousin, but she also represents inclusivity, multiculturalism, feminism, and progressivism. Because she's from Krypton and an alien, she represents what we could be. She's hope, which is harkened back to in Crisis on Infinite Earths when she is discovered as the paragon of hope. Arrowverse does an excellent job at following major threads of the characters. It's amazing to watch. What's more amazing is we got more than Crisis on Earth X. In Arrow Creator reveals why Crisis on Earth X nearly killed off the Arrowverse crossover events, Mark Guggenheim explains why they almost didn't have more crossovers. The network had to really convince us to do another crossover because after Crisis on Earth X, we were all pretty burned out. We were like, can we take a break and then come back for Crisis on Infinite Earths? And the CW was like, no, don't worry. It doesn't have to be all 4 shows. It can only be 3 hours. So what exactly works besides the characters, the themes, and the one-liners? If you look at each crossover individually, they have something for everyone. Let me show you what I mean by just showing some of the things I enjoyed about each crossover. I liked the women of the universe hanging out with each other, showing that they're still friends even with the craziness of helping the superheroes like Felicity and Iris, or being one themselves like Caitlin and Kara. You can tell what interpersonal relationships are important as they're explored. Felicity and Oliver figuring out what they are, Barry and Iris getting married, Martin and Jefferson grappling with Martin wanting to be depowered, Alex and Sarah pursuing a one-night stand, and of course, Reverse Flash and biting wit. They also show us important lessons, like when Martin says in Part 3,
I wish I shared your sentiment, but in all my travels to distant times, one thing sadly remains constant is men's ability to feel hatred for other men.
Ouch. And again, that's something that we can apply to us today. Trans community, Black Lives Matter, immigrants, people feeling hatred for other people. Martin is right. All of Citizen Cold. Just all of Citizen Cold. From his dating Ray to helping the heroes and even staying with the Legends for a bit. Perfection. I love that this is so stupid and that it has totally happened before. Like in JLU when Lex tries to discover who the Flash is and can't. Lois is just wonderful. I love that she has personality and that she takes no bullshit from anyone, least of all Clark.
Building is under renovation, so this is the best place for you guys to work out of. Oh, and the Wi-Fi password's Alfred.
The Easter eggs in Arkham. Scarecrow's toxin, Poison Ivy, the Riddler, the fucking screenwriter for Arrow, apparently. Good to know I got so granular with my details that I found an Easter egg and was completely disappointed he wasn't a supervillain. All of the cameos. Lucifer, Clark from Smallville, Kevin Conroy, the Titans from the HBO series, Brandon Routh reprising being Superman, The Flash from Earth 90, the Birds of Prey TV show, which was only 13 episodes, and so many, many more. John Cryer is best Lex Luthor. He accomplished what most Lexes only dream about, killing some Supermans. Then he gets bored and helps save the multiverse while being an asshole the whole time. My favorite Lex. The Paragons being at the vanishing point. What a great callback to Legends Season 1. The threads they pay off are just so great. Lex does bring up a good point, though.
You'll know when it's time.
Why do you cosmic types always have to be so obtuse?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
Cosmic beings are so fucking obtuse. Death, Spectre, Black Racer, Shazam, Dormammu, The Watchers, Franklin Richards. There are a lot of cosmic entities, okay? Like Mark Guggenheim explains in Inside Crisis on Infinite Earths, CW's mind-bending crossover event, he told the creative teams of all the CW shows, including Black Lightning, whose title character will participate even though Crisis isn't making an episode for it, to consider Crisis a magic ticket that would allow them to make whatever changes, big or small, to their continuity. In the same way that Superman and Wonder Woman got new origin stories and altered supporting casts in the wake of the original comic book Crisis. The greatest thing about these crossovers? They're fun. They don't just have an agenda. They're there for the characters and the Easter eggs. And I like that they address shows that are outside the Arrowverse. Adam Rogers explains in his Wired article, the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths puts Gen X Headlock on superhero TV. Clearly, super producer Greg Berlanti and writer Mark Guggenheim, teenagers at the time Crisis came out, cared about all this. Their Arrowverse now occupies a significant number of hours on the CW's program grid, pulling stories from all across DC space-time. And like our own universe, the wider Berlantiverse is expanding. Titans and Doom Patrol are on the streaming service DC Universe based on DC comic books, but confusingly outside Arrowverse continuity. Next year, TV will add Berlanti shows with Superman, Stargirl, and Green Lantern. Which could mean more crossovers with more properties. That's the great thing about episodic television. You can build to a crossover. You can save the multiverse. You can blame Barry for a power switch. You can punch Nazis. And most importantly, you can have fun.